Okay, good evening all. It is natural that people are not in a mood to come and participate, so I don't think there will be many who will be joining. As a result of that, let's start now itself. As I mentioned, what we have to now look at will be what is really happening right now in the market, and also and what to expect moving forward, purely on the basis of price action. There is nothing fantastic or nothing very complicated for us to understand as to what is happening. We can make use of the basics themselves and understand what is going on. So if you move to the CSC, I mean in the ASI, you all can remember I was talking about two basic steps. First the price action, then the moving average, which is the 20-day moving average. And that over the if you go back and see පිටිපස්සට අපි ගිහිල්ලා බැලුවොත් you will see that those are the two basic things which helped a lot of people to understand what was really going on. And then the most important thing is that when the trend becomes stronger, a person who is looking at it on a continuous basis, right? මේ පොඩි දේවල් වුණත් අපි continuously අපි බලන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම බලාගෙන ඉන්නකොට අපිට තේරෙනවා මේ වෙනස එනකොට අපිට ඒ opportunity එක ගන්න පුළුවන් at the start itself, right? So as I mentioned, okay, as far as the price action is concerned, we can see that we saw this, right? And thereafter, unfortunately, the prices did not go up. So we know that here at this point, the reversal took place to the downside, the pullback. And when the pullback takes place, we have to rely on the moving averages. And as I mentioned, the 20-day moving average will be the most important moving average when the trend is at the early stages, right? Of course, a shorter time frame moving averages like the 5 period moving average or something lower than the 20 period moving average might give us some early indications. But for me, what I have noticed is that the 20-day moving average helps us to see how the base is forming. I think a support base එක අපිට ඉතාමත්ම වැදගත්. ඉස්සෙල්ලා let's load the 20-day moving average, and then let's do something else also. Right, this is the 20-day moving average. So as we know, here there was a breakout and made a higher high here, right? And thereafter there is a cross below. The price has crossed below the 20-day moving average, which is known as a retesting of the 20-day moving average or throwback. In පස්සේ අපි දකිනවා මේ last Friday, sorry, ඊයේ තමයි මේ breakout එක එන්නේ. Right, so that breakout, if you can see, if we just draw a trend line, horizontal trend line, connecting the low of this, meaning the open, you can see we are here. At the same time, the close is also an important level. At the close, you can see we came and the prices came down below this level, right? And came into the zone between this high and the lower low. You can see that at this point we were inside that, right? So inside that range only we can see this high low, the first high low happening. So the market failed to hold there. Here you can see that has happened. Here it tested this level on one occasion. Thereafter retested here several times. Then could not hold there, came down. And once again, for the first time, we went into that level for 3 days, and there is a breakout moving above this level, or closing right at that point around inside this candle. You can see the halfway mark of this candle. And while doing that, we can see that it has closed above the 20-day moving average. Now, අපි ඉස්සරහට යනකොට මේ 20-day moving average එක හැම වෙලේම retest වෙවි ඉස්සරහට යන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් මෙතන අපිට තේරෙන දෙයක් තමයි මෙතන curve එකක් නැහැ. මේ වගේ පහතට ඇවිල්ලා it has not curved up like this over here. That is obvious. Why? The reason is this value, the value of the 20-day moving average will be calculated based on the 20-day the price data, right? The closing price data, right? So until the closing, so basically what will happen is that if the prices are going to extend higher, or rather the index is going to extend higher and stay above the 20-day moving average, then little by little this will curve up, right? So that is happening. Then the next most important thing in the present market is this lower low, which happened on the 27th of, this happened on the 27th of April, right? Now we are over here, it's 15th of July. Okay, so that's a period of 50 days. So for 50 days, it has not come down, the index has not come down below the low, or below the lower low, below the lower low of 6724, right? So the lower low is 6724. It didn't come down below that lower low, right? So that is very important. I mean, for 50 days, it has happened. After the fall, you can see it has never stayed anything beyond. This is the longest it had been, only 11 days, right? So this is much longer. That is an important feature that we are going through or witnessing at the present moment of time, right? So that's something that we have to, we cannot ignore, right? So we have to take it very seriously. Why? The reason why that is very serious is because, you know, I think on the, I mean, the entire sentiment outside the market was depending on the economic issues that we have, right? Basically, in April itself, we were officially declared bankrupt as far as the economy is concerned. Then on the 9th of April, we saw the protest is being established in Galle face. හරිද? ඊට පස්සේ අපි දන්නවා අරගලය සම්බන්ධව ගොඩාරියක් දේවල් මේ කාලෙදි සිද්ධ වුණා. මැයි 9. අපි බලමු මැයි 9 කියන්නේ කවදාද කියලා. මේ මැයි 9, right? මැයි 9 වෙනිදා මුළු රටේම ලොකු ප්‍රශ්න ආපු දවසක්, right? 9th of May. But the market closed positively on that day, right? Thereafter, incidentally, 9th of May had been a Friday. So from Friday, we can see that the prices have gone up, made a higher high, breaking the 20-day moving average for the first time after the fall, right? Then came June 9th, another important day. And that was here, once again, probably a Friday. I know, Thursday. Yeah, it was a Thursday. එතනදිත් අපි දකිනවා price, the index was like this, right? Thereafter, recently, July 9th, between this period. හරිද? So at it, then you go onto the road, and we ourselves have experience in the queues, right? The amount of issues that we have, unbelievable. Just we don't have words to explain what is taking place right now. All those big, complicated and also historical negative events. මේවා ඉතිහාසගත වන ඍණ හේතු දැන් මේ මොහොතේ අපි මූණ දෙන්නේ, right? 1948 පස්සේ තමයි මේ වගේ අපි ජීවිතේටවත් හිතපු නැති ප්‍රශ්න අපි මූණ දෙන වෙලාවක්. ඒ ඔක්කොම වුණේ within this 50-day period. So the market managed to withstand all those problems, right? Without coming down below this 6724. This lower low of 6724 didn't come down, right? So we have to respect the market. We have to respect the sentiment. We have to respect the price action, right? So that is very important. And just like the index, the most, I won't say the most important, but more or less a lot of companies, right, are reacting or contributing to this major support base formation, right? Earlier on, you all can remember I was mentioning that the market is fragile, right? As a result of that, the market had to form a support base. Now nobody knew where that support base, the resistance and the support inside that support base, inside that range is going to be. It could have been within this area, but that didn't happen. In May 9th itself, it went up beyond this high, right? So as a result of that, from this range, it extended into a range between this lower low and this higher high. That is what happened. Given the negative, historically negative circumstances that we were experiencing, right, it could have stayed inside only this area up to this point, just going sideways without doing anything. But that didn't happen. For some reason or the other, market reacted positively, and it responded with a higher gain, right, with an appreciation. But then thereafter, it came down out with all the follow-up negative factors, and we are here. So that we cannot ignore. And let's before looking at the popular counters everybody is talking about, let's take banks. Everybody, if you take the majority, nobody wants to touch banks. I'm not going to tell you all to, take a decision against that sentiment. What I'm trying to do here is to show you all how the banks perform. Let's take 3 banks, right? That is commercial bank. If you take, now from here itself, we'll use that commercial bank. Commercial bank ඒ වගේම දෙයක් වෙලා තියෙනවා. හරිද? අපිට පේනවා මේ ලෙවල් එකේ ඒ අප්‍රේල් මාසේ මේ ගණනට ආවා රුපියල් 50ට, right? That is that COVID low period price 50 rupees. Moving average එක ටෙස්ට් වුණා මෙතන. ඊට පස්සේ දැන් ආමසරම් moving average එකට උඩට moving average එකට වඩා price එක උඩට ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා, right? So this is one of the negative counters for obvious reasons, right? Let's take Sampath Bank. Now the Sampath Bank here, it went up. This was the April lows, but we saw the lows being broken, and this is where the lows, the present lower lows has been formed, right? If you just check that and just go back and see previously when it had happened, those lows, right? Even during the COVID period, it hasn't come down to that level. right? So obviously it has, like, it dates back beyond 2090, right? If we take a weekly chart, we might be able to see it, right? It's like, in 2010 period, you can see it's below two. It's like, 2009. Yeah, it had been in 2009 period, but of course, after adjustments for all these splits, right? So that you have to take into consideration after after splitting or split adjustments, the prices that the county is trading is dating back to 2009 period, right? But there again, we can see the 20-day moving average had been tested and it has gone above for the second time. After this fall, this is the first time, right? So that itself is something that we have to bear in mind. HNB might have been low, let's see. But there again, we can see that there is a, of course, it's trading sideways for a long period, but then it's above the 20-day moving average, right? It does not necessarily mean that it's very, very bullish, but being in the banking sector, this is how the main banks are performing, right? So we have to remember that for whatever reason, the market is, there is a thing called information priced in. හරිද? අපි කියනවා හැම දෙයක්ම හැම තොරතුරක්ම ප්‍රයිස් එකට අඩංගු වෙනවා කියලා. හරි? ඒ වගේ දෙයක් අපිට තේරෙනවා දැන් වෙන බව. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි දන්නවා හැම කෙනෙක්ම දන්න දෙයක් තමයි ඔක්කොම ඍණ දේවල් තියෙන්නේ. ආර්ථිකයේ ඍණ සල්ලි නැහැ. කිසිම දෙයක් නැහැ අපිට දැන්. හරි? නැති ප්‍රශ්න තමයි වැඩියෙන් තියෙන්නේ. ඇති ප්‍රශ්න වලට වඩා. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ වෙලාවෙදී මේ වගේ දෙයක් වෙන්නේ මොකද කියන එක හරිද මේ වගේ දෙයක් වෙන්නේ මොකද කියන එක අපි අපෙන්ම අහන්න ඕන ප්‍රශ්නයක්. හරිද? ඇයි මේ වගේ දෙයක් වෙන්නේ? We have to ask this question from ourselves personally, right? Because this is one of the opportunities that you have for you all to think on your own. හරිද? දැන් අපිට ආයම කාලය ඇවිල්ලා තිනවා අපි විහිං අපි හැදෙන්න. අපි විහිං අපි හැදෙන්න ඕන කාලයක් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. මොකද හේතුව එක කාලයක් ආව ජනවාරි මාසේ කාලෙදී නැත්තම් ගිය අවුරුද්දේ මාකට් එක අපි කියමුකෝ නොවැම්බර් මාසේ ඉඳලා වගේ. හරිද? නැත්තම් සෙප්තැම්බර් ඔක්තෝබර් මාකට් එක බහලා ආයම සැරයක් රැලි එකකට ගිහිල්ලා ඒ රැලි එක ජනවාරි මාසේ වෙනකල් ගියා. මොකද්ද කිරුවේ අපි? අනිත් ඒගොල්ලන් පස්සේ ගියා. හරි, අපි chart ඇන්දත් අපේ chart පිටිපස්සේ තමයි මිනිස්සු ගියේ. නැත්තම් ඒ chart අඳින ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ පිටිපස්සෙන් ගියා. කතාන්තර හදපු මිනිස්සුන්ගේ පිටිපස්සෙන් ගියා. දැන් ඕගොල්ලන්ට අවස්ථාවක් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා ඕගොල්ලන්ම හිතන්න. ඕගොල්ලන්ම හැදෙන්න. ඕගොල්ලන්ගේම strategies නිර්මාණය කරගන්න. හරි, ඒ හින්දා මේ අවස්ථාවෙන් ප්‍රයෝජන ගන්න. මේ අවස්ථාව අමතක කරලා ඉග්නෝර් කරලා යන්න හිතන්න එපා. හරි, ඉග්නෝර් කරලා හිතන්න යන්න එපා. මේක opportunity එකක් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් මේ අපි බැලුවේ ඍණම තියෙන industries. හරි, banking sector ඍණම industry එකක්, අනිත් එක hotels. අපි hotels ටිකක් බැලුවොත් Hills hotels අපි ඉන්න එකත් බලමු. right, Hills hotels දිහා බැලුවත් අපිට තේරෙන දෙයක් තමයි මේ low එකට උඩින් තාම තියෙන්නේ. හරි, ඒවා තාම ගොඩාරියක් ට්‍රේඩ් වෙන්නේ නැති වුණාට දැන් ඒ අර සපෝට් බේස් එකක් මෙතනත් ෆෝම් වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඊඩන් එතනත් ඔයගලන්ට පේනවා ඒ 20-day moving average එක sideways යනවා price එක සමග. මොකද price එක sideways යන හින්දා තමයි day moving average එකේ value එකත් sideways යන්නේ. ඒතකොට sideways කියන එක අපි තේරුම් අරන් ඉන්න ඕනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ 20 day moving average එක sideways යෑමට හේතු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ වැඩි හරියක්ම price එක මෙන්න මේ area එකේ තමයි trade වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. හරි. මේ කාලෙදි විතරක් පල්ලයට අවිල්ලා තියෙනවා මෙතන. එම හේතු හින්දා මේක කියන්නේ 20 day moving average sideways යනවා. right. ඉතින් අපි averages පාවිච්චි කරුවට ඒ average එක පස්සේ නෙමෙයි යන්නේ. අපි යන්නේ price එක පස්සේ. price එක තමයි break වෙන්න ඕනේ. right. අපිට පුළුවන් අපිට දකින්න පුළුවන් මෙහෙම breakout එකක් එනවා. 20 day moving average එක breakout වෙනවා. අපි හැබැයි බලන්න ඕනේ මෙන්න මෙතන මේ breakout එක තමයි වැදගත් වෙන්නේ. right. ඊට පස්සේ කොහොමද ඉස්සරහට යන්නේ කියන කතාන්තරය. right. එතකොට අපි දකිනවා ඊන් එකත් negative industry එකක් තියෙන company එකක් මේ වගේ තමයි පෙන්වන්නේ. HPL Asian Hotels ඒකත් අපි බැලුවොත් මේ වගේ මේ area එකක support base එක form වෙන්න try කරනවා. right. එතකොට banking sector එකත් ඒ වගේම hotel sector එකත් දැන් තියෙන මොහොත අනුව ඒ තිබ්බ lows වලට නැත්තම් ඒ lows තුල ඒ lower range එකේ support වෙනවා. right. ඊට පස්සේ අපිට දකින්න දෙයක් තමයි විශේෂයෙන්ම ceramic industry එක. right. ceramic industry එක ගොඩක් mix bag එකක්. මොකද හේතුව එක පැත්තකින් interest rates ගොඩ ආරයක් උඩට ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා. හරි. construction sector එක ඒකත් අපි touch කරමු. construction sector එක ලොකු negative මේ growth එකක් පෙන්නන ගොඩ ආරයක් ප්‍රශ්න වලට මුහුණ දීලා තියෙන industry එකක්. ඒ හින්දා RCL වගේ shares වල activity මේ challenging period එකක තමයි යන්නේ. So let's see how that has managed. Right. So this is we can see that this is the low that's in April, which was at 2450 at this point, but it came down during that period over here. These 3 days it came down right below the April lows. But while doing that, once again we can see that the 20-day moving average or the prices were building up to stay above the 20-day moving average. The prices were building up for that, right? So it's nothing fantastic that has happened here, but we can see that the prices are trying to stay above the 20-day moving average. Whether it's a bullish indication, we can't really say at this point of time. It has, for us to actually expect a strong bullish movement for the counter, obviously it has to go above the 35.90 or psychological 36 rupees. Until then, it's a painful accumulation that will take place here, right? So that's for Royal Ceramics. If you take the construction industry, some of the major ones, there again something strange is happening because there's a support, a low base forming, right? And yesterday it had broken above the 20-day moving average. So even for in the short term, there's something that we have to look at in access engineering in the construction sector. But that does not necessarily mean that we will you have a lot of opportunities in those counters. But the fact of the matter is that all these are helping the ASI to form its base, right? even though we are not interested in those counters, they have helped the ASI to stay above the 6724 and form that kind of a long-term consolidation, rather not a long time, sorry, a longer period of time of a consolidation. And we can see, especially the most popular, the counters with potential will be contributing to the all share index for the index to move forward into a rally, to build up to a rally, right? So apart from that, the reason why I started at 6:30 and thought of finishing around 7:30 is because once again at about 8 o'clock or something, there is a power cut here. Till 6:15 we had a power cut, and then when it goes at 8 or 8:30 or something, we'll come back again at 10 o'clock or something like that. So that's why I thought I should be doing this within this period. So as far as the populous counters are concerned, right? Before going into the main ones like the Expo Lanka and all, let's look at the plantation sector, because right now there is a lot of expectations for the plantations, and plantations have always been very good in trading. Meaning stocks which are having good trading opportunities, right? So those will be very important for us to understand where the prices are and what will happen to the prices in the short term. Okay, so over here, it's no brainer that the counters are in an uptrend. As I mentioned, the high low high high formation is in place. It has broken quite convincingly the price, the 20-day moving average, and it is trending up with breakouts, breaking the previous highs. And while doing that, we can see that the prices have broken above the January highs as well, right? If I remember right, this January high is a significant level for Balangoda. Yeah, so apart from this area, that is during that, after the war scenario, but before that, you can see after many years, the prices are testing these levels, the levels that we saw in 2011 or in 2010 period, right? So we have the counters are testing very important historical price levels. So when that type of a thing happens, we have to be mindful. අපි අමතක කරන්න හොඳ නෑ ඒ prices වල ලොකු consolidations එන්න පුළුවන්, right? Accumulate වේගන තමයි ඉස්සරහට යන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ වෙලාවෙදී අපි දකින්න දෙයක් තමයි මේ හැම point එකක්ම හරි වැදගත් අපිට, right? මෙතන ඉඳලා මේ ස්ථානයට යන එක, this point is very important. This is the high, then this low, right? Thereafter, from this low, it goes up to this level. Thereafter, we can see after accumulation period, at the top of that extension, right, there was a breakout, right? And then gradually it went up to this level, while testing these areas with huge swings, right? Again, from here, you can see that it has come down to this level. So there was එකෙන් අදහස් කරන්නේ මෙතන තියෙන meaning එක තමයි මේ area එකේ ලොකු absorption එකක් යන්න තිබුණා, right? ඒ හින්දා තමයි මෙච්චර ලොකු swings යන්නේ. දැන් බලන්න මේ level එක 28 ඉඳලා 33 දක්වා රේන්ජ් එකක් එක දවසට. ඒකෙන් අදහස් කරන්නේ එක දවසේ price fluctuation එක වෙලා තියෙනවා මෙතන ඉඳලා මෙතෙන්ද. right 17ක් 17ක නැත්නම් 18ක price fluctuation එක දවසේ. හරි එහෙම වෙනකොට අපි මතක් තියාගන්න ඕනේ ඒ එක පැත්තකින් ඒ කම්පැනි එකේ potential එක තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි අනිත් පැත්තෙන් ඒ selling pressure එක කොහෙන්ද එන්නේ කියන එක අපි තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ. ඒතකොට මේ වගේ ස්ටොක් එකක් හැම වෙලේම කියන්නේ විශේෂයෙන්ම දැන් කාලේදී ට්‍රේඩ් වෙන්නේ ඒ selling pressure එකත් එක්ක. ඒතකොට ඒ selling pressure එක absorb වෙගෙන තමයි අපි දකින්නේ ඉස්සරහට යනවා. ඉතින් අපි ඒක අමතක කරලා අපි කවුරු හරි කියන හින්දා අපි බලංගොඩ ප්ලාන්ටේෂන් ගැනීම එච්චර නුවණට හුරු කතාන්තරයක් නෙවෙයි. Right, so we have to be mindful that there are major ranges happening. Now even at this point you can see the range between this and this level 16% within a day. Right, so be mindful that when the prices are extending like this with daily wide ranges, accumulations also can happen. For some people who are not prepared to expect that, right, they might really find it difficult to trade counters of this nature. Right, so when you see a thing like this happening, you can see this is the top. Then you have to figure out what is the bottom of it. Right, from here if you come down, you will see this as a bottom. Right, from here to here, that can be a bottom. Right, or it can be from here, or it can be from here. It can be also from here if you want, not more than that. Preferably here, because from here to here you have a low and a high. Right, but the thing is this high started after hitting this low. Right, so now technically you can take that if you want. Preferably this will be the ideal low for this extension. Right, so but that doesn't mean that you can't take from here. But now what is the idea of taking these? The idea is to understand now there is a bearish candle that has formed. Right, bearish means the price, as you can see, had started yesterday at 46.50. Right, that's a follow-up from the previous day. Previous day it had gone up to 46.50 and closed at 45 rupees. The next day is this. It has opened at 46.50, went above 46.50 to make a new high, but it closed at 44 rupees after testing 43 rupees. Right, so here it will be fair enough for us to watch. Right, it will be fair enough to watch, because you know, if I have shared this earlier, we use the Fibonacci retracement lines to understand how far this if by any chance there is going to be a pullback. Of course there can be a rally, we don't know, but if by any chance there is going to be a pullback, right, the ideal scenario is to stay above 43.80. that is the best case scenario. එහෙම 43.80 වලින් උඩ survive වුණොත් මේක ඉතාමත්ම කෙටි කාලයකින් මේක break කරලා උඩට යන්න පුළුවන්. හරි, මේක break වුණාට පස්සේ තමයි උඩට යන්නේ. ඒක අපි දන්නවා. නැත්තම් it can come down to 38.2, which is 47.80. Right, then that is the second best scenario. Third best scenario is 40-20 or 40-10, right? So from here, I mean, here a reversal to the upside within a short period of time, you might see it going up above this, right? So in that case, we can wait for a breakout to happen. One way. That is if we are believing that the prices are good, even now, that the potential is high, so that we can buy and start accumulating. Why we are doing that is because මෙතන reversal එකක් ආවට මෙතන reversal එකක් වුණාට පස්සේ තමයි මේක break out වෙන්නේ. ඒ break out එකෙන් උඩට ගියාම ආමසරම් මෙතන support එකක් වෙන්නේ. දැනට මෙතන resistance එකක් තියෙනවා. හරි? මෙතන ඉඳලා break out වුණාට පස්සේ මෙතන ඉඳලා මෙහෙම ඇවිල්ලා හරිද? මෙහෙම කීප වතාවක් මෙතන මොනවාද accumulate වෙලා නම් උඩට යන්නේ. මෙහෙම උඩට යන්නේ. එහෙනම් මෙතන support එකක් establish වෙලා තියෙනවා. හරිද? මෙතන accumulation එකක් base කරලා තමයි අපි උඩට යන්නේ. එතකොට අපි accumulate කරනවා අපිට පුළුවන් percentage එකක් අපිට මේ breakout එකේදී ගන්න. මේ ඒ කියන්නේ මෙතන උඩ මේ level එකේ මෙතනින් උඩ 4380 වලින් උඩ නම් එහෙම support එකක් වෙනවා. එතකොට අපි මොනවද කරන්නේ? මෙතන බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා. මේ ඒ දේ සිද්ධ වෙනවද කියලා. එහෙම සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ නැත්නම් අපි දකි මේක මෙතෙන් දෙනවා. ඇවිල්ලා මේ විදියටම මේ විදියට accumulate වෙලා ඊට පස්සේ break වෙනවා. හරිද? එතකොට දැන් මෙතනදී අපිට chance එකක් තියෙනවා accumulate කරන්න මේ area එකේ. හරි නැත්තම් මෙතන මේ breakout එකේදී accumulate කරනවා. හරිද? ඇයි එහෙම accumulate කරන්නේ? අපිට විශ්වාසයක් තියෙන නිසා. නැතුව අපි accumulate කරන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. හරිද? ඒ හින්දා මේ මොහොතේ හරි මම කියන්නේ මේ කාලෙදී මේ මාකට් බහැලා තියෙන කාලෙදී ඕගොල්ලන් ගන්නවා නම් හේතුවක් හින්දා ගන්න නැතුව මේ අනිත් ඒගොල්ලන් කියන හින්දා ගන්න යන්න එපා. හරි? අනිත් ඒගොල්ලන් කියන හින්දා අරගෙන don't blame them. Blame yourself. Please remember that. Don't try to blame anybody else for going behind them. හරි? එතකොට දැන් ඒක වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේ area එකේ අපි accumulate කරනවා නම් කරන්නේ අපි මේ විශ්වාසයක් තියෙන හින්දා. හරි? නැත්තම් අපිට ඉන්න පුළුවන් මේ breakout එක වුණාට පස්සේ ආමසරක් වැටුනොත් එතනින් දෙක්කව කරන්න. දැන් මෙතනදී උඩට ගියා. දැන් අර මේ වගේම අපි මෙතන ඉඳලා අපි Fibonacci's ඇන්දොත් අපිට තේරෙනවා අර මං කිව්වා වගේ මේ කෙටි කාලයකදී මෙතෙන් උඩට ගියා. හැබැයි ඕගලන්ට පේනවා ඉන් පස්සේ මේ breakout එකකින් පස්සේ ආමසරෙන් මෙතෙන් එනවා. හරි? එතකොට මේ area එක ඉස්සෙල්ලා establish වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඉස්සරහට යන්න නම්. ඒක තමයි උනේ මෙතන. හරි? හැබැයි අපි මෙතන ඉඳලා මෙතෙන් අපි මේ lines ටික ඇන්දොත් මෙතන ඉඳලා මේ level එකට ඒ lines ටික ඇන්දොත් අපිට පේනවා මේක 78.6කට වැටලා තියෙනවා. ඉන්පස්සේ තමයි කාලයක් අරගෙන උඩට ගිහිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. ඉන්පස්සේ අපි බැලුවොත් මෙතන ඉඳලා මෙතෙන්ද එතකොට ඒ කියන්නේ මෙතන ඉඳලා මෙතන ඉඳලා මෙතෙන් බැලුවොත් හරි ලොකු ස්විං එකක් මෙතන වුණාට ඉන්පස්සේ මෙතනින් දවස් කීපයකින් තමයි මේ එක්ස්ටෙන්ෂන් එක ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. හරි එතකොට මේවා අපි ස්ටඩි කරලා මේවා මේවායින් අපි අපේ අපි ගන්න ස්ට්‍රැටජි එක අපි නිර්මාණය කෙරුවොත් then we will have an opportunity of reaping the benefits out of this counter, right? So at this moment of time we have to look at this wave. You don't need anything, but just watch what is going to happen here, right? Don't go behind another person. You have to believe in yourself, because this is your money, this is your trading, nobody else's trading, right? So at this point it's fair enough for us to test, rather wait for this breakout to take place and to understand how long it's going to happen, right? How long it will take for it to really happen. So this is Balangoda. Similarly, I think even all the other counters, the same scenario. As far as the plantation, some of the plantations are concerned, they are testing new highs, right? And you see, because we are using this level, using this wave, and keeping a close watch on these areas of support, right? You can understand that, below this 4250, that is 38.2%, right? You can see that the prices below the 4250 will be testing this level, right? That is a Jan highs, right? So we have to, if that is happening, then we got to, it is, the important thing is, if the prices are going to come down below this 4250 or 41, it is purely because you believe in the stock that you are buying. You are really confident that the prices are going to go up. That is why you are buying, nothing else, right? Muscalia plantation, if we take, these days I can see that many are very, very interested in the plantation counters like Kagol and all, because there are management companies buying Namanukala plantation and all that stuff. But just because the management company, okay, if we believe that the management companies are buying because they believe or they want to, increase the stake of the counter for various reasons, then you have to follow their strategy, right? Whether that is going to help you, I don't know. Otherwise, you have to have your own strategy, right? So in the case of Muscalia, you can see when a breakout takes place, right, there's a major move. Thereafter, there are chances that it goes sideways. So you have a major move from here to here, right? Then there is, obviously, there is a spinning top here with a wide range. You look at this range, there again, you can see from this 22 rupees to 25.90, right? That's almost 18% return within a day. If you had bought on Thursday, you would have made about 20%, even if you have bought at this high point, right? But there are, you would have been lucky to have that. But at the same time, if you take, at this point, if you take, right, if you take this level at this point, and you made use of these extensions, then it would have been a different story. See, from here to here, there is a movement, right? You can use the Fibonacci retracement lines to understand this scenario. There is a breakout. In the breakout, you buy. Okay, there is a breakout here. then you could have bought. Then you can see when there's a breakout, another throwback is taking place. Okay, so in that break, that's why I said when you're taking a position, it has to be the your confidence level, plus you have to, after the breakout, then there is going to be a throwback. At that point you accumulate, right? After the breakout, say you bought here, you should be prepared to buy in the worst case scenario, because at that point it has to establish a strong support base, right? Unlike the Balangoda plantations, here how that support has been formed is different. You can see the prices going up and once again throwing back to test this area. Let's take up to this level, right? So when things are happening, our our conclusions are all to do with what is going on in the country and market and stuff like that. We don't look at the prices and then buy. But when we are using these wave breakouts, right? After the breakout, before the breakout, there is a pullback trying to support, then only went up. Thereafter, it struggled, came down again, right? So you got to be prepared for this throwback. Here also the same story. If you think there is going to be a break, let's say there is going to be a breakout here, right? Then once again there are chances that it can come down and retest an area, and that area could be this high or this entire candle, the range of the candle, right? Why I'm saying that is because in 2 consecutive days we managed to wipe out this range and move into a higher level. And this is also in December actually, right? So this level had been in December. Thereafter, there had been a failure. Price failed to hold, came down to this level, right? So even if you're going to buy, let's say that you here, there's another issue where you can't just chase the counter and buy, because there hasn't been any support base for me, right? So watch this area, right? While watching that area, we can use this wave from here to here for the time being, right? Because there is a spinning top. Not that the prices have come down or will come down, right? Just look at this area and wait. You can see that 38.2 is inside this range. 23.6 is above that. And if let's say the prices go up and then throw back, right? Immediately, I mean tomorrow, let's say not tomorrow, day after, let's say the prices go up to test maybe 27 or 28 rupees, then come down. At that point, we can extend the price point. Let's say it goes up to 28 rupees like this, then we will be looking at that area. But for the time being, you have to check this level, because this level of support, or in this range, the support in this range is very important. So I mean, if you take this range up to this level, there had been one step where the prices got accumulated, then only went up to this level. Okay, so that is very important. So Balangoda and Maskelia are 2 different kinds of price action that we can see. Why do you use one moving average 20 rather something like MA cross? No, I'm taking here just to check. You see, first we have to confirm the trend, right? The trend for the trend confirmation, I'm only using, step by step, we can use our moving averages, right? So the basic, and at the same time, one of the strongest moving averages in the Sri Lankan market is a 20-day moving average to understand the trend direction. If we see there is a strong breakout and establishment of the prices above the 20-day moving average, then the chances that the prices are going to extend will be higher. That is why I'm only using the 20-day moving average. Of course, thereafter we can use the 20-day moving average and use much faster, meaning lower time frame moving averages to look at the crossovers, right? Then what else? Can you please look into Agal, Yavil, and Bill? Okay, fine. So that is something that we have to look at. Then moving forward, Agalavatta, since you all asked about Agalavatta. Now, in the case of the Agalavatta, you can see that it had crossed above the 20-day moving average. While that happened, you can see that this price of 30 rupees got tested, right? The close on that day had been 28 rupees. So within 28 and 30, it got tested, right? It just got tested only. So even if you're going to buy now, what has to happen is that it has to go above the 31, 32, 31.90 or 32 rupees over here, right? Then only it will go up to break these areas. As a result of that, you have to start accumulating if you're wanting to concentrate on Agalavatta. How do you do that? You can buy, probably you can enter your orders at this area, right? And at the same time, if you believe in this counter, you can pay a premium, maybe for a percentage of the volume that you are interested in collecting. Thereafter, you have to wait and accumulate, right? So that is where it is right now. Just looking at the price, previous resistance levels, 32 rupees or 31.90. This area of 34.20 or 34.50 or 34.90, and this area of 38.50. So your let's say you buy at this closing price of 28 rupees. Is it 28 rupees? 29.40, sorry. You will see a return of 8.68 up to 30% along the way. If this price of 38.50 is going to be broken, 31% at this level, right? So how far, how long it's going to take, we don't know. Right now, there had been a strong, pullback, a painful pullback, right? So how strong that breakout and a rally is going to be something that we have to understand. But unlike Agalavatta, Maskeli, and Balangoda, you can see many wide swings happening every day, right? So that is something that we can see between the three. Then Brown's investments, Indica wanted. Yeah, so the Brown's investments, we can see that the 20-day moving average breakout has happened. And at the same time, you can see that there is a gap here. Before that, you can see that there is a gap over here. This is something like a morning star formation. And you can see that there are two spinning. One is more like a One is more like a shooting star here, right? Here you have a spinning top. Here also almost like a spinning top. So at this point, there has to be some strong buying build up happening. Let's say above 750 up to 8 rupees, 750 to 8 rupees. Strong build up has to happen for it to go into the next levels, right? So on their way, purely on the basis of the resistance in the prices, you can see 870, 940, thereafter these higher levels. So, at least the 870 has to be tested. We have to see how long it will take for that to take place. In order for that to happen, the support above 750 to 8 rupees is very important. Right now, it has gone up to 8 rupees. So this area, it's very important. At what will happen is 770 to 8 rupee area, you will see buying on the bid side taking place. Thereafter, we have to see how successful it is going to be. At the moment, we can see that the prices, or rather the volumes, are above average, right? So that is a good sign, starting from this candle above average, and hopefully that 8 rupee will be broken and move upwards to at least as 870, right? So then, talking of the other popular counters, Expo Lanka is another one. There again, let's move here to be easy. Expo Lanka, you can see that also has gone above the 20-day moving average, right? And trying to stay above the 20-day moving average, and trying to stay above this close of 174 and below 187. So 174 to 187 is the area to watch. If the momentum is going to be strong, it will establish a base there and then break out to the next level. On its way, this is a very important level, 194.75. And also this is another important level, which is 204.75, because you can see that there is a head and shoulder formation, with this being the right shoulder. This is the left shoulder. This is the head. You see a neckline, right? So that the neckline formation here could be these two. So on its way, this line has to be broken. So, going forward, the line breakout also will happen at somewhere around 204.75, right? So that's why that 204.75 is an important level, right? So at this, around this level, 204.75 is an important level. Even some may prefer to take this as a right shoulder, but of course it has fortunately it has not come down to break this neckline, if that's the case. But we are watching right now this level, and immediately you have this 194.75 to be broken. LIOC is another one, which by far one of the main counters that are being accumulated and traded. We can see there, after hitting this 87.80, which is I think the all-time high. 81.30 was the December. 81.30 is December high at this point, right? So thereafter it has thrown back after testing this 87.80. So accumulation at this point will be important for the prices to break out and move into the next level, right? So if you take many counters, okay, Lanka lubricants, you got to understand. I mean, you have to first understand whether the prices have gone above the 20-day moving average. Lubricants also has gone up above the 20-day moving average. And then you have this high, which is Wednesday's high of 79 rupees. That's an important level to watch. Staying above 20-day moving average is very important now. For all the counters which have gone above the 20-day moving average, they have to stay above that level and start extending further by breaking the previous resistance levels. That's basically what I wanted to touch base with you all. මේක මොකද හේතුව අපි බැලුවොත් දැන් තියෙන තත්ත්වය අනුව අපි දන්නවා මේ මේජර් ඉවෙන්ට් එක තමයි ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ යස්වීම. ඉන් පස්සේ 20 වෙනිදා තියෙනවා තවත් ලොකු මේ දැන් මේ අවුරුදු කීපයකට හරි මාස ගන්නකට හරි අලුතෙන් ජනාධිපති කෙනෙක් තෝරා ගන්න කතාන්තරේ ඒවා අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා මාකට් එකට විතරක් නෙවෙයි ආර්ථිකයටත් ස්ට්‍රෝං ගවර්න්මන්ට් එකක් නැත්නම් ස්ටේබල් ගවර්න්මන්ට් එකක් ගැන මේ මොකද අඩු ගානේ අපිට මොනවාද ජනාධිපති අගමැති සහ කැබිනට් එක අවශ්‍යයි අපිට ඉස්සරහට ආර්ථික සම්බන්ධව ගන්න තීරණ දිහා මේ බලා ගන්න. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ දේවල් අපිට ඉතාමත්ම වැදගත් සාධක වෙනවා. හැබැයි අර ගොඩාරයක් ඍණ දේවල් වලින් ආපු එකේදී මේ බේස් එක අපිට පෙන්වන එක ගොඩක් වැදගත්. ඒ කියන්නේ 20-day moving average එකට උඩින් price එක close වෙලා තියෙනවා. මෙච්චර කාලයක් price එක sideways නැත්නම් price range එක sideways accumulate වෙලා තියෙනවා. මේ දෙක ඉතාමත්ම වැදගත්. ඉන් පස්සේ අපි තෝරගන්න shares අපි තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ තවත් දෙයක් තමයි මාකට් එක තවම volatile වෙන්න පුළුවන් chances වැඩි. හරි. ඉතින් ඉස්සරහා දිහා බලනකොට මම දකින දෙයක් තමයි 2020 මැයි මාසේ ඉඳලා තිබ්බ විදියම තමයි ඉස්සරහා ගැන අපිට පේන්නේ. හරි තාම ෂුවර් නැහැ. මොනවා වේද කියලා අපි දන්නේ නැහැ. මොන ෂෙයාර් මොන කම්පැනි එකක් නැත්නම් ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එකක් ඉස්සරහට කැපිලා පෙනේද කියන එක අපිට තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඉතින් එම නිසා හැබැයි ඒ අතරේදී දැන් අර අපි දැක්ක දෙයක් තමයි මේ තියෙන උද්දමනය ඒ වගේම මේ තියෙන FD rates නැත්නම් ගොඩක් කට්ටිය කැමති T-bill rates ගැන කතා කරන්නේ ඒවා තව 130ට වඩා උඩින් යයි කියලා හිතනවා. ඉතින් ඒවා annualized ඒවා. මේ ළඟදී මගේ client කෙනෙක් මගේ යාළුවෙක් එයා මට කතා කරලා කිව්වා ගොඩක් වෙලා එයාගේ යාළුවෙක් එක්ක ආගියුමන්ට් එකක් ගියා කියලා. මොනවා සම්බන්ධවද? මේ T-bill තියෙනවා මාස 3 T-bill තියෙනවා මාස 6 T-bill තියෙනවා අවුරුද්ද T-bills තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒ යාළුවා මෙයාට කියනවා මාස 3 T-bill එක 128ක් නම් සෙන්ට්‍රල් බැංක් එකෙන් 128ක් තමයි මාස 3ක් අපි දාලා තිබ්බම ලබා අපිට දෙන්නේ කියලා. Right, that is a misleading expectation. The common thing, a lot of people, majority of us know that when you are saying a 3-month bill is at 28%, meaning you have to divide the 28 by 12 and multiply that by 3, then only you will get whatever the amount. So 28 divided by 12 into 3 will be 6.9% or 7%, right? So when somebody is saying a bill at a 3-month bill at 28, that is 7%, right? So if it is a 6 months bill at 28, that's like 14%, right? Half of it, no? I think ඒක තේරුම් ඒ වගේ දේවල් අපි දැනගෙන ඉන්න එක වටිනවා. මොකද හේතුව අපිට ඊට වඩා මාකට් එකේ short term opportunities තියෙනවා නම් හරි ඒක මාස 3කට ඉස්සෙල්ලා අපිට 7ක ලාභයක් ගන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඒක වැදගත් කාරණයක්. ඉතින් stock market එකට අපි එන්න ලොකුම මේ ලොකුම හේතුවක් වෙන්නේ, right, to beat the inflation. Now everybody knows, everybody is talking about beating the inflation, right? So stock market is one place because it's relatively the most liquid market. Anybody can participate, and also you don't have to, I mean, from the smallest client or the smallest investment to a larger investment, you can, if you are interested, you can realize a return on investment higher than whatever the investments that you can understand or think of generating short-term incomes. හරිද? ඉතින් ඒ හින්දා අපි තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ ඒ opportunity එක තියෙනවා. බෑ හරි විදියට අපි මේ ඉස්සරහට ගියොත් අපිට chances වැඩි කියන එක. තව මොනවාරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අපි මේවක් බලමු, නැත්නම් අපි අවසන් කරමු. Okay. Right. So LOFC and MELS. Okay. So you can see LOFC is like this. It has gone up, I mean, above the 20-day moving average. Once again, a morning star formation, which is a bullish reversal pattern, right? So a breakout above the 8 rupees. Right now it just tested 790. A breakout above that can start testing this range, which is from this level right up to this, right? So breakout above 8 rupees can take it up to something like 880 and beyond, right? So the present price action is suggesting to us that it's trying to form a base at a certain price range, right? So that hasn't taken place yet, because 2 days ago it had traded at certain level and then started and made a gap on Thursday. Then again, the next day it has a gap. So there are chances that there can be a gap formation on Monday onwards also, right? But then you need to see a strong base forming. Until that takes place, it's very difficult for us to understand how far, how long, how strong that move is going to be to move into this range. Melsta is another one. Okay, in the case of Melsta, you can see that this area had been a strong resistance level, right? So that is at 38 rupees. And so finally we have gone there and tested the 38 rupees, but couldn't close above 38 rupees. In the process, went and tested the 20-day moving average. There again didn't close above the 20-day moving average. You need to watch out. Close above 38 with strong volumes, and rather can take it up and close above the 20-day moving average. Thereafter, it'll be a positive signal. At the same time, that 38 rupee support base has to form. Right now it's a resistance. It has to turn into a support. And again, there had been a resistance previously at 40 rupees. So 38 to 40 support base needs to base out, establish, then only it can go up to the next level. Okay then. So we unfortunately can't continue too much because of this power scenario. So probably next Saturday also we might be able to join. hopefully we will have a new president, probably, a new, maybe a cabinet, a prime minister. The whole works will take place. So it'll be an eventful week from Monday onwards. So all the best. Think of your own strategy. Don't rely on anybody else. You have to be yourself. And I hope you will have that strength to strategize on your own. Thank you very much. Have a nice Sunday and all the best for the next week.